Hello students, we are on the third part of the summer of the beautiful white horse. That was all, no matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Once it was his son Arak running 8 blocks to the barber shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed to tell him their house was on fire. This man Khusro sat up in the chair and roared, "It's no harm, pay no attention to it." The barber said, "But the boy says your house is on fire." So Khusro roared, "Enough, it's no harm. I see." Now you see, once upon a time, a funny episode happened in the life of Uncle Khusro. Uncle Khusro was at barber shop. He was getting his mustache cut. He was getting it trimmed, and Uncle Khusro's own son Arak came there with the news that their house was burning. And when he told this news to Uncle Khusro, he again said, "It's no harm, pay no attention to it." The barber reminded Uncle Khusro that his own house was set on fire. It was burning. He said, "No matter, it's no harm, pay no attention to it." So Uncle Khusro was very funny man. He was a crazy person. He had nothing to do with any kind of harm, and he used to say the same thing in the personal matter and impersonal matters too. It's no harm, pay no attention to it. It was his craziest statement at every loss. My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Murad's father was Jorab, who was practical and nothing else. Now, Aram's cousin Murad was supposed to be following the same line as Uncle Khusro had. Murad was supposed to be the natural descendant of Uncle Khusro. By the way, he was not the son of Uncle Khusro. He was the son of Jorab, but he had the qualities of Uncle Khusro. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. Now you see, in Garoglanian tribe, it was possible that a person was the biological father of a child, but he was not responsible for the behavior of his child. Aram was the son of Jorab, but he had the qualities of Uncle Khusro. He had been affected by the character and behavior of Uncle Khusro. The distribution of the various kind of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. The distribution of the various kind of spirit of our tribe had been from the very beginning capricious and vagrant. Now you see, those living in Garoglanian family, in Garoglanian tribe, from very beginning used to be vagrant. They moved from one place to another place. In their life there was no stability. We rode and my cousin Murad sang for all anybody knew. We were still in the old country where, at least according to some of our neighbors, we belonged. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. In this way, Aram and Murad started riding the horse, and they were nowhere at a longer distance. They were just in the old country only. They freed the horse to run, and it started running. At last, my cousin Murad said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." And there came a stage. Murad suggested Aram to get down the horse because he wanted to ride the horse alone. "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. "That's up to the horse." My cousin said, "Get down. The horse will let me ride." I said, "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with a horse." Now, Aram and Murad both are talking now. Murad suggested Aram to get down the horse so that he could ride the horse alone. Aram requested Murad to let him also ride the horse. In the response to his question, Murad told him it was up to the horse. If horse was going to be motivated, maintained and controlled by him, he would also allow him for running the horse. Okay. Murad also added, like Uncle Khusro, that he had a great talent for dealing with horse. "I have a way with a horse." This is also the refrain of Murad, just like Uncle Khusro's refrain, "Pay no attention to it, it's no harm." Okay. Well, I said, anyway you have with a horse. I have also. For the sake of your safety, he said, "Let us hope so. Get down." Now, Aram also assured Murad if Murad had a way with a horse, he also had a way with a horse. Murad responded to him, it was quite good if he also had a way with a horse because it was necessary for his safety. "Alright," I said, "but remember you have got to let me try to ride alone." I got down and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazir, run." The horse stood on its hind legs. Hind legs means rear legs. snorted, and burst into a fury of speed that was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. Now you see, Aram got down the horse. Murad alone sat upon the horse, and he kicked the horse, shouting, "Vajair, run!" Perhaps the name of the horse was Vajair. He said, "Run!" Now the horse started snorting. It jumped upon its rear legs, back legs. It burst into an anger of speed, and it started running in the loveliest manner. Aram was very much fascinated and attracted to see the beautiful running of the horse. The horse reached up to the irrigation ditch of the field from where watering was adjusted. That place is called irrigation ditch. The sun was coming up. It was morning time. It was at 4 o'clock they had started. Now time was passing fast. Time was fleeting fast. And the sun was coming now. Now it's my turn to ride. I said, my cousin Murad got off the horse. Ride, he said. Now, Aram wanted his chance to ride the horse, and Murad also, accepted it, and he allowed him to ride the horse. I leaped to the back of the horse and for a moment knew the most awful fear imaginable. The horse did not move. Kick into his muscles, my cousin Murad said. What are you waiting for? We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about. When Aram sat upon the back of the horse did not move. It did not respond him. Murad suggested him to kick into the muscles of the horse so that the horse could move. He also reminded him that they had a limited span of time before the world got up. It means before the people of the world were awakened in the morning. They had to keep the horse somewhere hidden. Now you see, I kicked into the muscles of the horse. Once again it reared and snorted. Then it began to run. I didn't know what to do. Instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Dikram Halabian, where it began to leap over vines. The horse leaped over 7 vines before I fell. Then it continued running. Now, the manner of the horse was not like the riding of Murad. Murad, when he rode the horse was in a balanced manner. It was quite controlled. It moved from one place to another place in right order. But now it was not in right order. It did not go to the field. It did not go to the irrigation ditch. Rather than it entered the farmer Dikram Halabian's field. There was a vineyard. There was a garden of grapes. In the garden of grapes, the horse entered there and it jumped over 7 vines of grapes. And after all, Aram fell down the horse. Then the horse started running fast. My cousin Murad came running down the road. "I'm not worried about you," he shouted. "We have got to get that horse. You go this way and I will go this way. If you come upon him, be kindly, I'll be near." Now Murad was very much worried because the horse had run freely and Aram had already fallen. Murad came there, suggested Aram to go into one direction. He himself was going into another direction in order to search the horse. He also suggested Aram to be kind and friendly to the horse if he came near the horse. Now see, I continued down the road and my cousin Murad went across the field towards the irrigation ditch. I took him half an hour to find the horse and bring him back. "All right," he said, "jump on. The whole world is awake now. What will we do?" I said. "Well," he said, "we will either take him back or hide him until tomorrow morning." Now, finally they got the horse. And now their plan was to hide the horse somewhere because they could not keep that horse in their own home. It was a stolen horse and a stolen horse could not be kept in an honest family like the Roglanian family. He did not sound worried and I knew he would hide him and not take him back, not for a while at any rate. "Where will we hide him?" I said. "I know a place," he said. "How long ago did you steal this horse?" I said. It suddenly dawned on me that he had been taking these early morning rides for some time and had come for me this morning only because he knew how much I longed to ride. Now, Aram wanted to know from Murad how long had he kept the horse, because if Murad was riding the horse so much professionally, it means he had taken horse riding for many days. And as he knew very well that Aram was also equally interested, so that's why he had come to Aram. "Who said anything about stealing a horse?" he said. "Anyhow," I said, "how long ago did you begin riding every morning?" "Not until this morning," he said. "Are you telling the truth?" I said. "Of course not." He said, but if we are found out, that's what you are to say. I don't want both of us to be liars. All you know is that we started riding this morning. Now, Murad gave a little bit clue that he had kept the horse for a few days, but he suggested Aram to speak to anyone that they had kept the horse this morning only. He wanted Aram to speak the same sentence, that whenever they were caught up red-handed, they would say that they had kept the horse that very morning only, because they must not be considered by the people that they are liars and they are thieves, because they had stolen the horse just for basically Murad had stolen the horse just for learning horse riding. All right, I said. He walked the horse quietly to the barn of a deserted vineyard, which at one time had been the pride of a farmer named Fedvazian. There was another farmer whose name was Fedvazian. There was a vineyard which was deserted. It means in that vineyard there were no grapes. There was no, agriculture development. It was completely left over. So in the, vineyard of Fedvazian, they went with the horse and kept the horse there. There were some oats and dry alfalfa in the barn. Oats, it's a kind of grain. Alfalfa is a kind of drug. We began walking home. It wasn't easy, he said, to get the horse to behave so nicely. At first it wanted to run wild, but as I have told you, I have a way with a horse. I can get it to want to do anything I want to do. Horses understand me. Murad and Aram are talking now. Murad was again talking big. He was again, explaining to Aram that he had a great talent for controlling the horse. At first the horse was not ready to follow his instruction, but later on the horse had to follow his instruction because he was a master of horses. How do you do it? I said, I have an understanding with a horse. He said, yes, but what sort of an understanding? I said, a simple and honest one. He said, well, I said, I wish I knew how to reach an understanding like that with a horse. Now, they are talking big. Murad is just explaining that he had a great talent for controlling the horse. You are still a small boy, he said. When you get to be 13, you will know how to do it. Murad himself was just 13 years. But he suggested Aram that he was very much elder in age. He was very much mature in age. And when Aram also reaches the age of 13, he would also be able to understand something. I went home and ate a hearty breakfast. That afternoon, my uncle Khusro came to our house for coffee and cigarettes. He sat in the parlor, sipping and smoking and remembering the old country. Then another visitor arrived, a farmer named John Bairo, an Assyrian who out of loneliness had learned to speak Armenian. Now you see, after that they reached their home and there happened two things. Uncle Khusro came to Aram's house, and there also came a farmer who was basically an Assyrian who had come from Assyria, but he had learned how to speak Armenian language. This farmer was John Bairo. Now you see, who is this John Bairo? I would like to tell you, this John Bairo is the real owner of that horse which they have stolen. Okay, so remaining part of this story I will explain to you in my next lecture. It was the third one. Thank you very much for it.